Welcome to the Tech Piano Player Kid, where you will find piano tutorials, technology demonstrations, audio game demonstrations and more. Thanks for watching. Now, let's start the video.
What is up, everyone? The Tech Piano Player Kid here. And today I'm going to be talking more on the security side of technology, I guess you could call it. Well, in a sense. So, I don't think I've done this on my channel. So, here's, I guess, a couple things I'm going to be talking about. So, first of all, we know there's a lot of scammers out there who will call you, or you know, there's many ways scammers can go about this. You know, they can go on you can see them on websites. They could message you, email you, advertisements. There's many ways. I have gotten a couple scams, and one I fell, and boy, did I learn my lesson on that. So, this was maybe a few years ago or so. And, I'm just, doing my thing, whatever, at my computer. And I get this call. And the person answered was, they said, "Thank you for calling, my name is so-and-so from," the company name was Omnitech Support, or so they said, and they said that there was something wrong with my computer, that people from a certain country were hacking to my information and blah 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 blah. That immediately should have done a red light. A light should have gone in my head and said, "Whoa, this is a scam." But at that time, I didn't really know much about that stuff. I mean, I did, but I didn't know much about them. Well, knowing, what I did was, they fixed my computer. Well, they said they would fix my computer, and they made me pay $200. Yep, you heard that correctly, $200. Boy, did I learn that lesson. My dad told me not to do that again. That was a scam. And yeah. Another time, they tried to call me again, and boy, they kept calling me and calling me and calling me and calling me, and my dad said, "The next time they call you, give me the phone." Okay, well, what happens? 5 minutes later, they call me, and they said the same thing, and I handed up the phone. I handed my dad the phone, which is my cell phone, and he talked to them and said, "Stop calling my son, or else I'll call the FBI or some company. It was like the FBI or something like that, or whatever." They just kept talking because I took the phone back from him, and they just kept talking, and I hung up with them. Well, a couple of days went by, and nothing happened. Finally, I just kept calling messages, and I said, "You know what?" I kept blocking them, and the lists kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and finally, they got to the point where they called me as a blocked number, a no number, so I couldn't even block them. Finally, thank you to Apple, there was an update where you can do a block unknown or silence unknown callers. Here's what I'm getting to. If you turn this on and this person is not in your contacts, or the person calls an unknown number, it will go straight to voicemail. Now, before you change this, there are a couple downsides to this. First of all, sorry, I was adjusting my headphones, and I had an itch. So, a couple downsides to this. First of all, if you are expecting a call from your school, or you work, or whatever, the number may come up as unknown number, or, the number may come up as a different number, depending how the phone system is set up or how their system is set up. So Sorry if you hear my computer make noises in the background. So you could do that. But again, that's some downsides. But that's one way. Another way is if you pick up a phone and you have to absolutely answer the call and it's an unknown number, it's a number you don't recognize and you're expecting a call or, whatever. You answer their call and they say something's wrong with your computer, hang up. Just hang up because how would they know that? There's no way they would know that. There's no way. Kind of scary, to be honest. Okay, next one. There's another scam I got. Now, this one's pretty creepy. So, the way the scam goes, you get a call from Apple, or it seems to be from Apple. What's even creepier, it's the exact same number that Apple has. The 800-692-7753. When you say hello, you get a message that sounds something, that's not the exact same words, but it gives you the idea what happens when you answer the call. You get something like this.
Hello, we are calling you to inform you that your iCloud account has been breached. Please press 1 now to speak to a customer service representative.
Pretty scary, right? Well, naturally, I pressed 1 because the number showed as Apple. Well, again, I was skeptical, I guess is the word. Like I was a little suspicious. I was suspicious. And then, this person on the other end, had, she'd spoken. She sounded a little bit far away from the receiver, from the phone. And, she said, it says, and I can understand her. And also there was like an accent that I could hear. Immediately, I hung up because I knew this, I pretty figured out it was a scam. I waited about maybe 5 minutes or so, and I called Apple back and said, hey, did you call me about maybe, let's say, 5 minutes ago? And because my iCloud, for my message that was in iCloud, my iCloud account has been breached. And they said, no, we never called you, and we wouldn't call you over the phone about that. And I said, okay. And I said, just let you know, there's been a scam going around, or I got a scam call that showed up exactly as your number, and that, the account has been breached, and was exactly the number from Apple. And they thanked me for letting them know, and what do you know? I never got the call again. So that's one. Another one. Okay. Enough about scams. Let's talk more about, I guess, protecting yourself from that. If you get a call from Apple that says about that, be careful. If you get a call that says your iCloud account has been breached from Apple and is the exact same number, 800-692-7753, it's most likely a scam. And if you get that exact same that same voice, that's what they use. That's what they use, the Samantha voice. It's most likely a scam. Hang up, wait about maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, half an hour at the most, and then call Apple back and tell them that you got a call from them, that your iCloud account has been breached, and that you need to tell them that happened. Okay. Now, let's go into more of securing, I guess, about accounts and stuff. Now, before we go on, guys, and also about security and stuff and all that kind of stuff, this also includes networking. Now, before I go on, guys, this is no intention. I'm not here to show you how to do it. I'm not showing, how to hack in something because A, that's not the point of this video. B, I would not do that. And C, that wouldn't make sense. And yeah. Okay. Well, let's first of all, there are different types of hackers. When people hear hacker, most people would think a bad person. Not necessarily, not 100% true. There are red hat hackers, white hat hackers, and black hat hackers. Sorry, I had to mute myself when I had a cough. So, what are the difference? Well, black hat hackers are the ones who get into your info, they steal it, they may sell it, whatever, and they hack into your account, steal your information, passwords, whatever. Those are black hat hackers. An easy way of saying. Red hat hackers, I believe, if I'm not getting the red hat hackers and the white hat hackers mixed up, they're both similar in a way. The red hat hackers, I believe, are the ones who will call the company and say, "Hey, my name is so and so, and I want to, whatever. I want to make sure I want to come in and see if your network or firewall, whatever, is secure. I will not steal any information. I'm just going to see if there's any back doors." That's an easy way of saying there's no other way of getting in to your network. And if they allow it and they say it's okay, cool. And those are the ones that do not steal information. They just want to make sure your network is secure. And then they'll let you know what you can do to fix those loopholes. The white hat hackers, I believe they're the ones, they do the same thing, but I don't think they can remain anonymous. I think. I could be wrong on this. If I'm wrong on this, I apologize, but I think they're about the same. Maybe they do a little bit more advanced. Hold on. Maybe they do a little bit more advanced stuff, but that's probably the best basic. So what can you do to protect yourself essentially with your network? Well, if you have Wi-Fi, which is wireless, make sure you always change the admin password. The admin password is what's the admin password, first of all? Well, the admin password is where you log into the router from a computer via the gateway. Usually the gateway, default gateway for most routers is usually either 192.168.1.1 or 192.168.0.1. But it's something .1 at the end, usually, unless you have configured it differently. So you log in there and then ask for a username, which is usually admin. The password is either admin or password or 1234 or just blank. Usually. Okay. Well, why should you change this, you ask? Well, first of all, if someone got into your network, they can go into your network and into the admin settings and change everything to the point where you cannot even change, where you can't even access the Wi-Fi anymore. They may change the password. They could change the admin settings and stuff, and go to the point where you can't even get in there. You should also change the network password, the Wi-Fi password, which allows you to connect to the Wi-Fi. Now, why, you may ask? Well, first of all, the passwords that most routers have, not all of them, but there are some ISPs, internet service provider, that have a default password. Not all of them. Again, not all of them. It just depends on which router they give you and everything like that. But there's some passwords that are by default, like Netgear or whatever like that, Tenda or something like that. Now, some of them don't even have a password, and they will recommend you to make they actually require you to make a password, and they can't even let you make the password blank. Like, they won't let you. So that's that. So make sure your passwords are complex. Obviously something you can remember, but make the admin password complex so where no one can guess it. And your Wi-Fi password, maybe about 15 characters, 14, 15 characters at the least. Maybe 10, but I'd say maybe 12 to 15. And then at the maximum, that's up to you. But I would not make it 50 or something like that. That'd be too much. Okay, so yeah. Now this brings me to passwords. Oh boy. Many people, I'm not saying everyone, okay? I'm making this clear. Not everyone, but there are some of those people out there who will make their password their name or something like that. And this is not directed to anyone, okay? This is not directed to anyone at all. I'm just saying in general. People will make their password something with their name, and then they make like their birthday at the end, or something like with their dog name or family name, whatever. Don't do that. Now, if you have trouble remembering passwords, then, write it down somewhere, but keep it in a safe spot where no one else can find it. So if your password is something like, if your name was, let me think of a name here. If your name was Benjamin, for example, or for a girl name, let's say your name was Heather. Either way, let's say you have one of those names, whether you're a girl or a guy, or a boy, whatever, and you made that password, and then you add some numbers at the end. Now, I don't know how to do this, but, I've learned from classes that I've taken from my computer classes that how this works is usually if hackers wanted to get into your account, they would have a certain software or something like that would essentially, easy way of saying is that software that will attack the password with, and they'll go back through the dictionary and stuff like that, and then until they find something and until it works and stuff like that, and then they'll add numbers and punctuation stuff. It's more in detail, but that's essentially how that works. So, what's a good password? Well, there's been different ways of people saying what's a good password. A good password is, at least, I say between 10 to 12 characters at the minimum, and then at the maximum, whatever you want it to be, I guess, if there's no restriction. Like my school, I think my school's like 9 or 10 or something like that, maybe 11 or 12, but maybe they changed it. But yes, it's somewhere in that range at the minimum, and then at the maximum it can be whatever. But lowercase, capitals, lowercase, uppercase letters with punctuation, numbers, special symbols is a good password. It makes it harder. So let's take an example of a good of a password. Let's say, for example, your password was, I always use this example here, Cisco. Now, this will not be a good password, but this, for example, let's just say your password is Cisco Tech Computer 1357. Well, instead of doing capital CISCO, capital TECH, capital COM, capital PUTER, you could do something like capital C1 $C0, capital T3 CH, capital C0 MPUT3R, exclamation 1357 exclamation mark. Now, what you're thinking, well, how does that work? Well, exchange some letters for symbols. That's basically how that works. Exchange letters for symbols. I would not worry about spaces too much. If you want to have spaces in your password, that's perfectly fine. But that's up to you. But yeah, special symbols is always a good thing to have in there. Now, the one thing I don't like is it when the password says it cannot contain this and this and this, and you're like, well, that makes it hard. That makes it easier to guess. What's the point of that? I don't see a reason why people do that. If I have my own website, which I'm actually working on, because I'm going to have my own business someday, it takes a little bit to do that. But let's say I want people to log in and have an account. Well, then now we'll have no restriction of the password. But now let's say, okay, it has to have at least, let's say, 10 to 12 characters at the minimum and a maximum of, I don't know, maybe 50 or something like that. I don't want it to, that sounds like a little bit of restriction, but I don't want to make it too long to guess the people, whatever they have. But, 50 should be something good. Okay. And another thing. There are some people I've heard that, they forget to log out of their computer. And, people think just closing the browser logs out of logs out of your account. Not always. I know this because sometimes I am guilty of not logging out of my account on my own computer when I'm on a certain account. And when you look on back to the browser, it automatically just logs back in. So if you're at school or, whatever, whatever grade you're in, college, high school, whatever. If you have an account that you log in and you log into your email on the school computer or at home, always remember to click the sign up button or the log up button or link, whatever it is, to make sure you have successfully logged out. This will make it harder for people to go in and see your information or messages that you don't want, to see. It just wouldn't, yeah. So that's a couple things. Let me see, what else do I need to cover? Okay. Also, never, ever, ever, if you get a call from a person that says that's your bank, do not give them your card number or your PIN number or even the CVC number or whatever that thing's called, the 3-digit thing on the back of the card. Because, that's a couple things. Now, if the bank really needs it, then, I guess, actually, I have never heard of a bank asking them that. They should never ask you for that information. It's a scary world out there, guys. I'm not here to say, how to do this kind of stuff. I'm just here, because I want you all to protect yourselves and protect your your friends, so they won't get scammed and stuff like this, because it's a scary world out there, guys. It's a scary world. Oh yeah, believe me, I've gotten scammed. And I don't want you to go down that road where I went, getting scammed for money. Yeah. And there are many scams out there, guys, but those are the most common. Those are the most ones that I've probably heard of, but there's some other ones probably too. So yeah, that's that. If you guys, have any questions, by the way, or comments, put them down below. And if you have any other, or any experience that you have had with scams, whatever, comment down below. Kind of curious, actually, because, and how you got around, or how you handled it. What kind of scam, if you ever got scammed and how you handled it. Because maybe there's some scams I've never heard of. So, yeah. So comment down below if you have any, if you had any experience, being, if you had any experiences of being scammed and how you handled it, and what was what was your reaction when you got this? I think the biggest one that everyone has probably experienced, or most people have experienced, is getting a call claiming that they are under arrest from the from the IRS. Or an IRS scam, or the FBI. Truth, guys. The IRS or the FBI will never call you. Think about it for a minute. Why would they call you to say you're under arrest? Do they want you to get away before they get to your house? Think about it. Just think about that for just a minute. Why would the FBI call you, or the CIA, or whatever, or the police call you and say that they're over to your house to arrest you because of this and this and this? Why would they call you? Just think about it for a minute, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And people, unfortunately, fall for this. It's sad. It really is sad, but, it just, And the number that calls you, and, it says from the IRS, and you hear this, accented voice that sounds like they're from a different country, that's most likely not a real number. 99% of the time, that's probably not a real number, because when you call them, try to call them back, that number has most likely changed or has been disconnected, and you can't even contact anymore. This makes them harder to catch, I guess. So, yeah. So it's scary. I've gotten those calls too. And I'm still very young, and I've still gotten those calls from the IRS and FBI stuff, and I'm like, hang up. Because, They're going to ask you for your information, your social security number, which is a huge no-no because you should never, ever hand out your social security number. Now, some of you may be wondering, who are maybe younger, why? Well, think of it this way. Your social security number is basically your identification that tells everything about you, pretty much. Actually, it is. And if someone gets a hold of that number, they can find where you live, your name, your birthday, your address, and some other information. Marital status, probably. Yeah, they can find out all that out, pretty much. So, social security number, do not hand out. Now, if you're filling out a form, or let's say like for a driver's license or for a bank, you get opening a new bank account at a bank place like E-Trade or what's other banks that they have? Capital Federal or Cap One, whatever. I mean that's different, but I'm saying I think you get what I'm trying to say. Don't hand out social security numbers. Just don't. It's basically it's easy as that. So guys, that's basically it for this video. I mean, I could go on and on about this, but that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them down below. And if you have any other questions, let me know. And comment down if you had any experience. Again, if you had any, calls that you've gotten that were very suspicious and how you handled it. Because, I want other people to know what to do if this happens to other people. Unfortunately, age doesn't really matter now because, scammers don't really care how old you are. I mean, they call and say they're under arrest. I mean, they're just going to, say Mr. or Miss Smith or Mr. Smith, whatever. You have a cell phone and they call you, they don't really care how old you are. I'm sorry, but it's just how it is, and it's sad. It really is. I mean, the first scam I got was probably when I was maybe 14 or 15. Yeah, maybe 13. I don't know, 13, 14, 15. Oh yeah, it's just crazy. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. Questions, comments, put them down below, or you can send them to thetechpianoplayerkid@gmail.com. If you want to share your experience, if you don't feel sharing your experience on the comments. And if you want me to do a part 2 to this, let me know. And let me know what you want to talk about because I'm going to run out of ideas because I think I almost touched everything. So that's it for this video, guys. Also, I'll be trying to doing a live stream this week, hopefully, if I can. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on my post notifications, and I will see you all later in the next video. God bless you all, and peace. The Tech Piano Player Kid is out.
Remember to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Follow my Twitter, which is linked to my channel. For more questions, email me at thetechpianoplayerkid@gmail.com.